Welcome to another episode of Watch Me Do Family History with Chris Knudsen. Today I am teaching new family history consultants how to help members of their ward. Today I'm going to be helping somebody in my ward named Ryan. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and sign into my account. And when I want to help somebody in my ward, I always invite them to give me access to their tree. So Ryan already gave me access to his tree. So I'm going to click on the Help button, and we're going to go down here to the Helper Resources button. And on the Helper Resources page, I have people who I've added or have accepted my invitation to give me access to their tree. And we're going to scroll down to Ryan and click on him. And here we are on the main Helper Resources page for Ryan. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Family Search icon up here. And this takes me to Ryan's home page. So when Ryan signs into Family Search, this is the page that he sees. We've already been working together, so we're going to go ahead and continue his work. With Ryan, the goal is to add 10 new people to his tree that he can take to the temple. So we want to reserve 10 people for temple work. So as I scroll down, I go past the recommended tasks, down past the recent people, and we are going to be on the to-do list. So Ryan and I have been working on a specific family, and I've attached this link on his to-do list. So I'm going to triple click here, and I'm going to right click and hit copy. And we're going to open up this information in a new tab, and I'm just going to right click and paste this address into the address bar. And here we are, we're working on a family, Charles H. Allen, who married Harriet E. Reynolds. So the goal today is to show Ryan how to reserve names for the temple. So let's go ahead and click on Charles, and we're going to go to his person page. So I'm going to right click on person and open the link in a new tab. That way we're leaving open this nice descendancy chart. So I click on that tab, and Charles H. Allen, ordinances, and he is all green. So we can do all of his temple work. But let's just look and see if he's ready. So we have Charles's birth date and birthplace. We have his death date and death place. We also have a burial location. He's also has several residences added to his other information. An 1870 census, a 1900 census, 1905 census, and 1910 census. Family members, we have his parents, James Allen and Lucinda Marie Hinman, and we have his wife, Harriet E. Reynolds, and we have several children. Now, what about sources? So we look up here at sources, we've got 14 sources. So this is a really full person with lots of details. We can be pretty sure that he is not a duplicate. And we are going to click on, just to make sure, we're going to click on Find Similar People. So I like this feature because it helps to find people that may be somewhat similar, but Family Search doesn't quite think of them as a duplicate. So here we are with Charles H. Allen. This is our Charles from Kinderhook, Columbia, New York, dying in Garfield, Rensselaer, New York. And similar people to him is this Frank Elmer Allen. That's not right. James Edward Allen, nowhere close. William Allen, Charles M. Allen from Moxonville, PQ. So none of these people are anywhere similar to him. So we're pretty confident that he is ready to go. So I'm going to close this tab. And right up here, this is how you reserve names for the temple. So you go to the person's ordinances page, and you hit the request button. And here it shows Charles H. Allen we can do baptism, confirmation, initiatory, endowment, and sealing to parents. And it's ready for Harriet to have her work done as far as being sealed to Charles H. Allen. So we're going to request these family names be added to Ryan's account. And Ryan needs to read this church policy, which basically says you should only be working on your immediate family members and direct line ancestors and relatives of your direct line ancestors, such as collateral family lines, aunts, uncles, cousins, and their families, and descendants of your ancestors. So one of the things that I forgot to show you was how Ryan is related to Charles. So let's go back, and we're going to click over here on the View My Relationship button. So here we see that Ryan is related to Charles H. Allen through his wife, Harriet E. Reynolds. And Charles H. Allen is the husband of my 5th cousin 3 times removed. So this shows a good relationship with Ryan. And we're going to go ahead and click the request button and hit it again. And we're going to accept that we've read the church policy. So Ryan now has Charles H. Allen that he can take to the temple anytime he wants. Let's go back and look and see if anybody else is ready for temple work. So I'm going to close this tab. And here we are back on the pedigree chart, or the descendancy chart for Charles H. Allen. Let's click on Harriet E. Reynolds. She's already had all of her temple work done except for sealing to spouse, which we've just reserved. We have Sarah Ann Sadie Allen. She's had baptism, confirmation, and initiatory done. The endowment is red and she's green for sealing to parents and sealing to spouse. So these two can be done, but we have to wait for the endowment to be done. Let's check and see what the status is on that. So I just clicked on that button and it took us here. The endowment has been shared but not printed. It was reserved by this person and shared with the temple system. And that was done on the 9th of August, 2017. So these 3 ordinances were done. The endowment wasn't done yet. And we have to wait for the endowment to be done before we do the sealing to parents and sealing to spouse. So let's hit the back arrow. So we'll go back. So we're not ready to do anything new with Sarah, but let's look at her family. So we're going to click on this arrow. And she's married to Frank Green, and she has a daughter named Martha E. Green. So let's look at Frank Green. So we're going to click on Frank. Okay, it looks like Frank has some temple work to be done. So I'm going to right-click on Frank, his person page, and we're going to open him up in a new link, and I'll click on his tab. So here we are with Frank Green. We have his birth is August 1876 in New York. We have no death. We do have 1 census record from 1900. We have a spouse and we have a daughter. And let's look up here to sources. There's 3 sources. Let's go ahead and click on those. So we have 2 similar records. From 2 different indexes, Frank and an entry for John Lynch. Let's click on that. So Frank and Sadie have a son named John Lynch. And this looks like a birth record. 8th of October, 1891, New York County, New York, United States. Event place, Manhattan, New York, New York. I'm not sure I like this record. Why is it in New York? And why is he named John Lynch? Let's go ahead and look at the other record. Frank, New York, New York, John Lynch. We have the 1900 census, Frank Green. So in the 1900 census, it's Bennington, Vermont. The birthplace of Frank Green is New York, and his birth date was 1876. And it shows on his record Frank Green, Sadie Green, Martha Green, and Minnie Allen. Minnie Allen is the sister of Sadie Green, so that's why she's the sister-in-law of Frank Green. So here we have a daughter. So I don't think that other guy, it's hard to say that other guy is related, but Martha was born in New York. So let's see if we can learn a little bit more. But I don't see why it's a John Lynch. Okay, so let's see if we can learn a little bit more about Frank Green. We're missing his parents. We know he was born in New York because of the 1900 census, but they're currently living in Vermont. So let's do a search on Ancestry. We'll click OK. And the first thing that comes up is the census record that we already have attached to him. It's a good idea to click on familiar records first because Ancestry gives you these nice suggested records. I'm going to go ahead and make this view a little bigger. There we go. So here we have Frank Green, age 23, born in New York, currently living in Vermont. This is his family. He's married to Sadie Green. They've got a daughter named Martha, and this is Minnie Allen, the sister-in-law, sister to Sadie. So we know that it's the correct Sadie Green, and we know that Frank is her husband, and we know that their daughter is Martha. Let's see if we can find more information about Frank. Yes, his parents were both born in New York as well. So over here in the suggested records, we have an 1880 census, a 1905 New York State census, a Vermont marriage record. Let's click on that. Oh, this is a marriage record for Martha. So Martha married a Lawrence Monroe. Now, this is a good opportunity to show you the feature called RecordSeek. So RecordSeek allows us to attach records to Family Search from any place on the internet. So basically, we're going to attach this record to Martha Green. So let's go back and click on Frank. We're going to scroll down. We're going to click on Martha Green. And we're going to go to her page. Now, Martha Green, we don't currently have her spouse, so we're going to add her spouse. And to do that, we're going to add this record. So first, we're going to click on her ID number, copy it. Then we're going to go back to the tab in Ancestry. I'm going to highlight this record showing this information that's on this marriage record. And I'm going to come up here. I can either click on my link in my favorites bar for RecordSeek, but I also have a Chrome extension from RecordSeek. So I'm going to click on that. Oh, I forgot it doesn't like it when I'm big. So I'm going to make this not big for just a second. So we have, let's go out. We have RecordSeek. We've got a family, creating a source, and we want to attach it to Family Search. So I'm going to click on that, and it's authenticating. I'm going to go back. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so it messed up during the login, so let's do that again. So we have Martha Green. We're going to click on RecordSeek. I'm going to go I'm going to modify source, but really I just wanted to go back to show you. It's going to attach this source with all this information already populated into these boxes. The describe the record or the notes section is everything that I highlighted. So if you want the information on the record to be in the notes, you just highlight it when you click on the RecordSeek button. So because this record is going to be attached to several people, I'm going to click Save Now and Attach Later, and we're going to put that, oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's see if that worked. So that was supposed to save it into my records sources box. So I'm going to close that. We're going to go back to Martha Green. We're going to click on sources. We're going to click add source and attach from source box. And I forgot this feature doesn't work while I'm looking at Ryan Carter. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the looking at Ryan Carter. So we stop here for just a second. So it got attached to my source box because that's who I was logged in as, is myself. And we're going to attach Martha Green to Martha Green, her marriage record, and we're going to click attach. Reason to attach source. There's no reason to give a reason. It's very clear who she is. Her parents were both listed, and the locations and birth dates were all correct. So we're done, and we're going to go back to Martha Green. And so we're going to scroll down. So this marriage record, if you want things in chronological order, you click add that information. So it allows you to add a date for the event so that you can list your sources in chronological order. And this marriage record occurred in 1939. So I'm going to click on that and hit 1939. And then I'm going to scroll down and hit save. So now that we've attached that source to Martha, let's go ahead and attach the source. Let's go ahead and create her husband. So I'm going to go back to the details page, and we're going to manually enter him in. On the tab here with Ancestry, we have his name. I'm going to go ahead and click on his name, and that'll give us just his information. So we actually don't get any information except for his name. So we've got Lawrence Monroe, and let's go ahead and add him. L.A. Lawrence. He's male, and he's deceased because his wife was born in the 1800s. No match was found on Family Search. So we're going to go ahead and click Create. So we've just created her husband. Okay. So what else can we learn about Lawrence Monroe? Besides, oh wait, let's add their marriage date, 19th of June, 1939. So in the marriage events that says no marriage events, we're going to add that. And we're going to add an event, and it's a marriage, and the marriage date was 19th of June, 1939. And the marriage place, Pownal, Bennington, Vermont. Which pops up down here. Click on that. We're going to click Save. Now, when we clicked on Lawrence's name, another thing here popped up. We have a 1940 census with Lawrence H Monroe. Since that is right after their marriage, he should be living with his wife. Martha Monroe. And that matches. Martha E. Green is Martha Monroe. They got married in Vermont, but then it looks like they moved to Massachusetts. And they had a baby named Sally. So just to make sure, we've got his birth date as 1906. Her birth date is 1899, which matches our records. And her parents' birthplaces as New York, New York, which is correct. So let's click on his name again. Lawrence H Monroe. Born 1906 in Massachusetts. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And over here we're going to add birth. 1906. And enter place, Massachusetts. And hit save. Now we want to add the source from the source box. So the source box has the marriage record, Martha Green in Vermont marriage record. We're going to attach that. And then we're going to go back to Lawrence. And because they were in the 1940 census, let's go ahead and see if we can find that in Family Search. Okay, here's 10 more research hint helps with all these records. Let's see if any census records show up here. So we have another marriage record. Marriage record, marriage record, marriage record, marriage record, marriage record, marriage record, marriage, marriage, and the 1940 census. So this is the one that we just saw on Ancestry, but it's easier to attach using Family Search. So let's go ahead and attach this one. So they were living in Lenox, Berkshire, Massachusetts. And his residence, they didn't even put it for 1935, so they left it blank. I'm still going to attach that just for fun. And then we have Martha, residence. Her residence was Pittsfield, Berkshire, Massachusetts in 1935. Interesting. We're going to click attach. Sally Monroe is 1940, so she may not be dead yet. I don't think I'm going to add her yet. We can add her in 30 years and then we'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click off of that. And we're going to go back. Since all of these records are all of them are the same marriage record, I'm not going to attach those at this point in time. I'm going to go ahead we're going to go ahead and go back to Martha. So Martha, we have her husband. We know they had a child in 1940. She was a little bit older with that marriage. And she's got the same marriage records. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of them. Marriage, see if she has any additional ones. Research suggestion couple may have children. That's true. We know that she had children. So we're going to click on that. Okay, so we have Lawrence Monroe. We still want to find his parents just to make sure that he's not already on the family tree as a son of his parents. So we have him here in the 1940 census. We have Social Security Death Index. Let's click on that. So we have his full birth date now. It's 10 February 1905. Lenox, Berkshire, Massachusetts was his last residence, same place he was living in 1940, and he died in 1992. So we're going to go ahead and attach this record. So I'm going to highlight that. We're going to go back to Lawrence. We're going to click on his ID number and copy. So then we go back here, and we're going to use RecordSeek again. This is a really good example of using RecordSeek, which it doesn't like it when we do it in big. We'll try it. I'm going to paste his ID number here. This one, since it only had him, we're going to add that just to him. And we know it's the right guy, but I'm just going to click Create and Attach, and he is done. So we're going to close that and come back to here. And let's go back and hit refresh on his person page. And we're going to add his death. Since it wasn't added, we have to add it manually. Death is 3 March 1992. 3 March 1992. And the place, Lenox, Berkshire, Massachusetts. Click Save. Okay. Now, do we see anything else that might have his parents? So now the Find a Grave record just came up. Birth record, maybe that's going to have his... So we have his birthday is 10 February 1905. We forgot to put that. 10 February 1905. Whenever you have an exact birth record, it makes it easier for Ancestry or Family Search to find the exact birthplace. So 10 February 1905. Now we have his parents, George H. Monroe and Ella May Squires. And he was born in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. That's why I left this open, because I knew we were going to find that. Stockbridge, Berkshire, Massachusetts. And we're going to click Save. And new research help was found over here. So if we can add the same sources that we had before. Married, birth, here. Yeah, so now this shows his parents, George Monroe. I didn't see that one before. Let's go ahead and attach that one. That way we can attach his parents without having to handwrite them in. So here we have, excuse me, here we have Lawrence Monroe and Martha Green, and marriage on 2 June 1939. This is probably actually a pre-marriage record, like maybe their license. We're going to click attach. We're going to add his parents. So George and Ella May Squires already exist on Family Tree, so we're going to add them. I'm going to hit refresh. We're going to change the focus person to George. That might allow us to attach, the record. I'm going to go ahead and detach this, detach. And okay, we're gonna have to add their son back again. It didn't like it when I changed it. So because we attached the son. So we're just going to have to make sure that Ella gets added as his mom. And we can do that later. I'm going to go ahead and change it to Martha, and we're going to attach this record to her parents. So then let's go back to Lawrence Monroe. And we have his father, but when we click on George Monroe, Ella Squires. So what we're going to do is we're going to add Ella Squires as the mom here. So let me just show you that real quick. Okay, so I'm going a little too fast. We have George Monroe married to Ella Mae Squires with no children. Then we have George Monroe with no spouse, but the child Lawrence Monroe. Well, what I'm going to do is just clean this up by putting Ella here, and then this will disappear and there will only be one marriage. So we've got the ID number, we copy it. We go back down here to add spouse. I'm going to click on by ID number, and then I'm going to paste that in. Click next. It found the link. I'm going to add the match, and now it cleans it up so that they're together. So even though George and Ella already existed on the tree, they didn't actually have any information. Birth Stockbridge, maybe? And let's click on Ella Mae. Ella Mae has possible duplicates. So we're going to go ahead and stop here. There's plenty more work to do, but Ryan has some new people that he can take to the temple this week, and we'll continue to work with him on adding more people that he can take to the temple. So we're going to, just to summarize, as a family history consultant, you can help people in your ward add names to their tree and reserve names to take to the temple, which is the main goal. Help people take more of their family names to the temple. And that's what we're doing here, trying to help Ryan. And I hope you get a chance to practice this and help somebody in your ward. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please click the like button and hit the subscribe button to see more videos just like this on my YouTube page, Watch Me Do Family History. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.